Hello, Steve White, Steve Out 89. Well, I'm here with my little Smurf friend here. So I just watched the trailer for the new Smurfs film. I had no idea they were even doing a Smurf film. It's from Paramount. I'd seen some bad AI posters, and I thought people were just making something up. I didn't realize it was actually from a film. So they're actually doing another film. And I was really surprised. This one is live action, and I had no idea because a little bit of history. The original Smurfs were a cartoon comic, and then they did an animated cartoon. Then they did 2 live-action films where the Smurfs were created in CGI and looked realistic for the most part, photorealistic. But then they kind of gave up on that, and they went to pure like CGI animated for the Smurf, the Lost Village, and that was really beautiful to look at. Because the Smurfs basically look the same in live action or animated, but the humans don't look good in animation, so doing it purely in animation and focusing mainly on the Smurfs themselves really worked. I quite enjoyed it, and they established a female Smurf village, which, you know, contradicts all the canon and everything, but whatever. Then they did an new animated series in that same universe, which was beautiful and looked great. And I thought maybe they're just better in the animated universe, because it looks like you're looking at real Smurfs or like real living toys in a way, so it kind of works. But now they've gone back to doing a live action film, but this time the animation is not realistic. They don't look photorealistic. I mean, actually, almost the texture of their hats and their skin does almost look photorealistic, but then they've got lines, like animation lines, really pronounced black animation lines on their faces, which almost look raised. And I'm like, why would you do that? You can see some of the other characters, you can see animation lines and they're done in colour and they blend in, but the ones in the face are really black, and you look at them when they're talking and it looks like a live CGI version of a piece of animation. It doesn't make any sense. Now, they're sucked out of their universe into ours. Now, is this setting up a multiverse where they're actually coming from an animated universe and everything in that universe is animated? Because when you see the village, it's all animated, it's got the same lines, and to give them some credit, these lines do look like Peyo's lines. And something I noticed with some of the other books and that, new books, you can tell they're just done with CGI and they're just drawn with plain lines, and Peyo like sculpted every line of every like Smurf that he drew, and they just gave it a real like original like element to it, something about it just was beautiful, and I really noticed that when it was missing. And they have successfully recreated that on these animated figures, but they're still animated in a realistic setting. It just doesn't make any sense to me unless it's some sort of in-universe explanation for why they look like that. Because just combining animation with live action doesn't really work like that. And the idea was selling the Smurfs as real. And if you're not going to do that, I'm confused by this. Now, so much as the rest of it, like a lot of people were criticising it and saying it looked bad, and they were criticising it mostly for things they did in the other movies, like having contemporary references, which of course is all about having it contemporary. So people watch the trailer, they say, "Oh, look, I relate to that. That sounds like me," and then they don't care if it's good or bad, or if it has, you know, longevity. They don't care about legacy. That they just want, you know, to get people in with the marketing on opening weekend for a couple of weeks. It only has to be relevant for that long, then they don't care. So they don't care about, you know, long-term legacy, what it does with the rest of the series, what it does with the rest of the franchise, what sort of a life it has. And I think sometimes when they aim stuff at kids, they don't care if adults can watch it, because it's really painful to go watching a kid's film with a kid. You need to make it for all ages, and then when people grow, they can still enjoy it as an adult. Like I rewatched the Smurfs animated series, all 9 seasons except for the last season. It was great. I loved every minute of it. It didn't seem dated. It wasn't made for kids. Wasn't kiddie, I mean. But they need to do that with future incarnations if they want those to continue, and have new generations of fans and have a generational fan base like it sort of does now. But people were criticising that, like people were laughing at our influencer Smurf, and like, well, of course. Smurfs are very impressionable. You don't really have to expose Smurfs to like social media and stuff like that and influencers, you know, for a minute for one of them to take it on as a personality. So that wasn't an issue. So people were just picking out weird things, like, oh, they use Smurf for everything interchangeable. I'm like, they've been doing that for a long time. So I just found it really weird that the people who were criticising the Smurfs trailer were making fun of elements that are already established in the Smurfs universe and the other Smurfs films and aren't that ridiculous, and were totally ignoring the animated style mixed with live action and what that means or what that could mean. Or so yeah, I don't know what to make of it. I'm a bit confused. I'll be curious to see what happens with it. I felt Rihanna's voice work was flat. Like some actors, they're really not voice actors, like Sarah Michelle Gellar in Master Universe Revelation. So I'm a bit worried about that. Stunt casting like Katy Perry, just find the best actor for the role who sounds like Smurfette instead of having a name, because that name's only going to be relevant for a while. I don't even know if Rihanna is relevant anymore. But I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of this and the latest Smurfs film.